What's up, everybody out there? How you doing? Welcome back to another episode of Pepe's Point of View, and we are reviewing Real Life in Ballroom. And the title of this particular episode should have been called Warren Takes Center Stage, baby. Warren said all that clout chasing and stuff can put you in a bad space. Well, we're going to talk about all of that and more. All right, you guys, stay tuned because Pepe's Point of View is coming right up. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am your favorite host, Pepe, and we are talking about real life and reality. They have a new show. It's called Ballroom, Real Life in Ballroom, ladies and gentlemen. And I got the opportunity to get around to watching season 1, episode 2, Game Night. But as I said, it's Warren, center stage. And this particular episode, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you it's all about Warren. It's Warren and nothing but Warren, baby. So let's just go ahead on and jump right into it. Listen, whew, child, I'm here to tell you. As I've been covering my R&B divas, yes, because that's what I do over here as well. I talk about my music. And as I've been covering my favorite R&B divas, one thing that I'm learning about my taste in music, okay, is that I think I'm like everybody else. I just want to hear the hit record. Just give me a hit record. I want to see my diva. I want to see her, dressed to the nines, so on and so forth. And I pretty much want her to have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe even 7 or 8 octaves. You understand what I'm saying? I need my divas in the rafters. You understand what I'm saying? And of course, it's all about the hair and makeup. But I'm also finding myself going beyond that, and as it relates to, covering, let's say, real life and ballroom right now, I'm saying to myself, you know what, let's go a little deeper with this thing, okay? And I'm just kind of feeling how the characters, if it was me, how the characters are coming together. How should they kind of be placed, so on and so forth. It's all about what's in my head, okay? So just sit back and relax and go with me. Some of the things you might agree with me, and some of the things you probably don't agree with. It is what it is. Leave a comment. Now, have you noticed, okay, a pattern here? And the pattern, I think, right now, or let's say I'm going to couple, that's right. I'm going to couple or group certain characters together, okay? First of all, take a look at Dink and Warren, all right? I don't know about you guys, but I definitely feel like there's a love-hate relationship here. I do. And I think they probably did more than just drink and chill that night. I'm just thinking that it is what it is. They are adults and they can do whatever they want to do. Hey, I like to kiss and not tell. You understand what I'm saying? So it's none of my business at all. But I'm just looking at the fact that there's a possibility that they could have. And it is what it is. If they didn't, I'm sure it's going to come out in the show. If they did. Sorry about that. If they did, I'm sure it's going to come out in the show eventually. But it's definitely a love-hate relationship over there with these two, okay? And yes, I really do think that Dink, uh, I'm not going to say he invaded Warren's territory or his space. You know, you can look at this as two ways. You can look at it like, oh, he's over there dancing, so on and so forth. Okay, well, I'll go over there and show off what I can do too. So it's kind of like, oh, you're going to dance. I'm going to get over there and dance with you as well, right? It's one of those things. Two, it could be one of those things like, oh, well, he's dancing, then let me show everybody what I can do. After all, this is a television show, and I want to make sure that I get my shine as well. I don't want people to think that I, how can I put it? Well, I just want to shine as well. Now, that's one thing. Well, two things you can look at it when it comes to that. However, now it just crossed my mind. See, I love it over here. I love how things gel together. Now, Dink, you're invading Warren's space now. Why do I say that now? Because I just realized, Dink, you did this more than once. Dink, what's up with that, Dink? How is it that you managed to get in his space more than once? But then again, too, this is just me. Now, Warren says he's athletic. And I'm like, and it's definitely, some people are going to definitely take this as shade. They are. And it's not intended that way. But Warren says he's athletic. Okay. Now, in my mind, because, you know, sometimes we are narrow minded. In my mind, when I'm thinking athletic, I'm thinking the regular sports, right? But then I just realized it. I mean, you can look at like gymnastics and things like that, of course, as sports or what have you. But what I'm saying is that what form of athleticism is that? And it's not a diss. I'm asking, like, and he probably said it and I missed it. But what part of is he saying he's athletic? Obviously, he's built, nice built, everything, so on and so forth. So we know that he is definitely into, you know, taking care of his body, so on and so forth. And then I think he says he's a dancer. Did he say exotic? I'm not quite sure. He did mention a word, say a word when he was talking about his dancing and what have you. Definitely, he said it's not voguing or ballroom. But Dink is definitely invading Warren's space. Sorry, Dink, it is what it is. And so I just want to believe that at this moment in time, it's love, hate over here with these two. Okay. It's definitely that. All right. So Dink, yeah. I think you might want to be mindful of how you come off when you are interacting with Warren. But here's the thing, though, now that I'm thinking about Warren, Warren seems to do it at a drop of a hat, drop of a dime. But he also says that, you know what, hey, he said it. He says he's an animal. You know what I mean? He likes to move and so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. So he's definitely in his lane. Warren is in his lane for sure. Dink is in his lane. But I'm wondering now, do we say that Dink needs to kind of find his own way? And this can be interesting because these two titans can collide. They could collide. Because at first I was thinking, as far as categories are concerned, because you know Gregory did ask to if you wanted to rank them, how would you rank them? And now that I'm thinking about ranking, I don't know why I'm thinking that at first the rank was between like maybe Paige would be first and then Dink second. But see, they're talking about dancing, right? They're talking about dancing, but I'm also, you got to keep in mind personality over here. So if it was me, I would definitely say the show belongs to, right, Dink, Warren, and Paige. It's just these three. So these three are the standout right now, okay? And the connection would be Warren. So my thing is, ooh, I didn't think about that, but I'm gonna go over there. I got save that. Don't go too fast. Save that. I was about to say something, but I'm gonna say it, but I need to save it. But the connection between these two, well, no, the trouble could be Warren, right? Because you got Warren and Dink, you have Warren and Page, you have Dink and Page, right? I don't know if you, but okay, let me slow this thing down. So you have, if I, okay, I would feel like, okay, Warren, as I said, this is all about you. Sorry, you guys. I don't want to say that right now. I want to stay with my flow because I'm about to deviate from things. Sorry about that. My apologies. Sorry about that. So that's definitely the pattern, right? So as I said, you got Warren and Page, and there seems to be a Warren and Page connection. Now, Page says that this connection is not a physical one. It's one that's kind of platonic. It's just a basic, hey, how you doing, so on and so forth, blah, 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 right? That's what she says. But now you have to understand something when it comes to Warren. And when it comes to Warren, I picked up on something that I don't know if you guys picked up on it. I'm just saying now, I picked up on it, but I don't know if you guys picked up on it. Did you notice how Warren's hugs tend to linger? Yes, those hugs of his lingers. All right. Now, Warren, I know those hugs myself because I give those kinds of hugs out as well. Now, what I am saying is, I'm not saying that they are more than platonic hugs, but I mean, your intentions behind those hugs are, what do you want to call it? Are not just are more than platonic. But I'm not giving out those kinds of hugs to people who I don't want to give them out to, if you understand what I'm saying. You know, and so when he comes in and he hugs Paige, and that hugs tends to linger, I said, "Oh, okay, he hugging Paige. I see you." You know what I'm saying? Because I'm thinking that Warren and Paige could possibly have a thing going on. Then the next thing I know, he went over to embrace Dink, and he did the same thing with Dink. I said, "Oh, I'm not quite sure." Even though in my head, I just told you a few minutes ago that I'm thinking that that night they spent the night, it was more than just spending in the night. Yeah, I said it like that, spending in the night. It was more than just that. But then I thought to myself, and myself said, "But you got to keep in mind." Warren did say, "Hey, I'm masculine, I'm feminine. I can turn it on, I can turn it off." That's what he says. So now I'm saying to myself, like, maybe that's just him, and these are just the two that he, you know what I'm saying, wants to give those kinds of hugs out to. Because people don't always give those kinds of hugs out because those kinds of hugs can be misinterpreted. Sometimes those kinds of hugs means, hey, I'm just feeling you, I like your energy. And then some of those hugs are pretty much what they are. I'm kind of flirting with you. You know what I'm saying? I know you're not mine, and I can't deny it. But at the same time, I'm giving you that kind of hug and embrace because you know what? I just, the possibility might be out there somewhere. And so I just got to let you know that you know what? If you were mine, how I would squeeze on you. You got to be mindful. You just never know. I'm just saying, you never know. But as I said before, it's all about Warren over here. Now, going back to Warren and Paige, I also feel like Warren and Paige definitely has the same underbelly when it comes to that energy. They have a dark side to themselves. It's what it is. Did y'all pick up on that? Like, when Warren is going back and forth with the gentleman with the mental health situation going on. Okay. I'm like, okay, calm down, Warren. Paige said that that's her neighbor. He's never came out before. I don't know nothing about that man, so to speak. And Then when Paige was with Jay and she was talking about how, she's very possessive over her son, over her children, so on and so forth. And I'm looking like, okay, these two here, I wonder what happened when those two are together and if there was a clash, right? Because now I'm thinking about personalities and how these two would come together based off their personality type. You understand what I'm saying? Because even though Paige was, play fighting or whatever, I think who was it with Dink or so on and so forth, that just lets hey, Paige will get down if she want to. You know what I'm saying? Don't let the play fight fool you. You understand what I'm saying? So that's there as well. But now the fact that Warren would actually go over there, he did. He went over there like, I ain't being funny or anything because, I am a counselor. That's my profession. And I would have not went over there with that guy if paid. First of all, I wouldn't went over there if I didn't know that man from a can of paint. Then he coming into the environment, our space, and this is his behavior. I would be mindful. I wouldn't argue back and forth with this gentleman at all. But then when Paige says, what he, has been diagnosed with, that father lets me know, I'm not going to interact with this man like this. Do you understand what I'm saying? But the fact that Warren did that, I'm like, things that make you go, and then the nerve of him to get up there and go over there to the guy, you know what I'm saying, and put yourself in his personal space, right? Just not a wise and a safe thing to do. So I think this is a good place where we can kind of squeeze in a little bit of some education about, mental health, and that is that why did he come out? There's a possibility he came out because, it could be a sensory thing, right? He could be, sensitive to noise. All right. And maybe you guys inside the building, probably brought him out. He came out because patients with schizophrenia are more sensitive to noise. And like I said, that's a possibility. And then you got to understand too, as far as auditory hallucinations as well. And if they do have auditory hallucinations, then they're definitely more sensitive to noise than those without an auditory without auditory hallucinations. So keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So again, I definitely would not interact with him, and I definitely will be mindful of keeping personal space. Warren, keep your personal space. So the same thing I would say to Dink about getting in your personal space, Warren, when you're trying to, let everybody know what's going on. I can, bend and twist and turn and all of that stuff. It is what it is. So Warren, do not go back into that man's personal space. Don't do that. All right. It's just what it is. But Warren says no one can touch him. And for the show, we're talking about the show now. I know you guys are talking about ballroom dancing, but for the show, he definitely is going to give us a good show, and he's giving us a good show. And I like what he did. He made sense of his character on the show, and that is, and I'm glad he, cleared the air. I'm not I'm not a vulgar. I'm not I don't do ballroom. So he made that. So for some people to say, oh, his dancing was not good, well, he had already cleared that up. I'm not, there's no way for you to compare his dancing to Vogue or to ballroom because he said that's not what it is. Okay, so we can let that rest, we can lie that down, we can keep it where it is. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, this might be an inappropriate thing to label Warren with, but this is what I'm going to call Warren. He's my wild card, okay? He's the wild card here. He definitely is. Uh and I'm not quite sure why he's the wild card, other than, like, as I said, his personality type. Now, of course, we saw, a little bit of the cameo, or, well, the snippet or what have you, preview. I'm sorry, preview of, it looks like there will be a physical altercation betwixt Warren and somebody. But I just don't necessarily, I'm wondering why. Okay, so it very well could be something that Warren said or did, or it could have been, something someone said or did to Warren. I'm just wondering. It's just me. I'm wondering, is it because he had relations with someone? I don't know why that's in my head, but I'm just wondering if that's the case. Now, as far as Dink is concerned, I don't know. As I said, Dink has the potential, the personality to carry the show, to be a Malik Yusuf. I think he has the ability to do that, but I think that he's losing his shine by trying to go into someone else's light, because while the two of you have dancing in common, I see you, but I don't see you, Dink. And I think I don't see you because you are not in your light. I think it's safe to say, without being taking it the wrong way, finding yourself in your own lane. So hopefully that's what's going to happen. I think overall, in general, I think it was a great episode, this particular episode. Looking forward to, learning the cast, getting to know them, so on and so forth. Uh, Great, and all that stuff. So, if you made it this far in my commentary, I think it's only appropriate for me to say, hey, hit the like button, the subscribe button, the share button, leave a comment, all that wonderful good stuff. I really appreciate your support. Thank you guys so much. My motto over here is simple. It's very simple. Put your behind where your heart desires to be. And whenever I leave my mother's presence, she always says to me, she says, baby, remember, I love you, but God loves you best. I look forward to seeing your next video. And until then, you should know what to do. Take care of you. All right. Talk to you later.